There's no easy way out. I just wanna know there's no easy way out. No easy way out. I'm not asking for another chance. The chance.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the No Easy Way Out podcast. My name is Tony Nash, and we are coming to you as always from the Woodworth building in beautiful downtown Owasso, home to my company, AZ Branding Solutions, where we help grow your brand from A to Z. So I'm super excited about our guest today. I know I say that all the time, but today I'm really super excited about our guest because I want to introduce you to two people that work with our newest client, and that is the Flint Firebirds, and we're super excited to be working with them. And that is Jeremy Torrey and Dominic Gutierrez. Did I get it?
Nailed it.
Awesome. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming all the way from Flint, the long drive. How long was your commute this morning?
About 30 minutes.
Oh, that's not too bad.
It was 30 minutes for me. So
And I know Dom got up super early to go do a workout with Casey. Did some heavy lifting this morning real early. How did that go?
it was good. I mean, you only get so many times to work out with a guy that has a couple Guinness Book of World Records for.
Casey has world records? I didn't know that. I've never heard that before.
Ah.
Well, that's cool. I know me and Jeremy were supposed to go, but we just
Too early.
Yeah, it's just we don't have anything to prove, right?
Early bird gets the worm.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are not quite in our league yet. So when you guys get there, we'll let you know, and then we'll set something up for you guys. So before we get into the Firebirds and everything that's going on, why don't you guys tell our audience, you can just go one at a time, tell our audience a little bit about you and what you guys do.
So I'm the marketing director for the Flint Firebirds. I handle a handful of our corporate accounts, along with overseeing our marketing efforts internally and externally, whether if that's our traditional media or social media, and then heavily involved in our promotional development.
Awesome.
And I'm the president of the Firebirds.
El Presidente.
So I oversee the business operations. Also the general manager of the Dort Financial Center. So I oversee the operations of the building as well.
Very cool. Well, as I mentioned earlier, we're super excited about working with the Firebirds. I know we have a couple of hockey fanatics on the team, and a couple of us enjoy going to the games because we like to watch fights. We enjoy, we enjoy the speed of the game. We enjoy the athleticism of the game, but maybe aren't like hockey, super fans. But looking forward to learn more about it. I'll tell you a little bit later about some of my hockey experience and why it never really took for me. But why don't you guys tell us a little about the Flint Firebirds and what it is for those listening who don't know who the Firebirds are or what it is? Maybe give them a little taste.
So the Firebirds are part of the Ontario Hockey League, which is a major junior hockey league. And it's a development league for the NHL. So roughly about 25% of all NHL players played in the Ontario Hockey League. In our time in Flint, team launched in 2015. We've had almost 30 players either drafted or signed by NHL teams or both.
That's incredible. So Casey tells me that the Ontario Hockey League is like the second largest professional hockey league in North America. Is that accurate, or is that just one of his inflated statistics?
Oh, I mean, depending how you gauge largest, if it's number of teams. So it's a part of the Canadian Hockey League. So there's three leagues that make up the Canadian Hockey League. There's our league based out of Ontario. There's the Western League based out of Western Canada and in the Western United States. And there's the Quebec League. So every year, those three teams or those three leagues anoint a champion, and then there's a host city, and they have a combined championship that's really one of the most coveted titles in all of sports.
They get a big cup?
They do. It's called the Memorial Cup. Awesome. It rotates around Canada and North America, the United States, and we've had owners in the league that have owned NHL teams, and they've always chased the Memorial Cup because they consider it really
very prestigious. So someday that you guys will be drinking from the Memorial Cup, you hoping?
We're hopeful, yeah. And actually, for the first time in our league, it's going to be played in the U.S. It's going to be played up in Saginaw this year following the season. Saginaw's the host city. Yeah.
So how many Michigan-based teams are in the OHL?
So there's two Michigan teams, and there's three teams in the United States. The third team is in Erie, Pennsylvania.
3 total.
Yeah.
Oh wow, That's pretty cool. So it's you guys, and is it the Saginaw Spirit? Is that
Yep.
the other one?
Yep.
Okay. All right, cool. So you guys have had a pretty significant amount of your own players go to the NHL. You said close to 30. Who are some of the notable players that hockey fans would know that are former Flint Firebirds?
I would say most recently Ty Dellandrea. I believe it was in the 2019 draft. He was drafted 13th overall by the Dallas Stars. He's had a pretty good entrance in the NHL now as well. Last year he scored 2 big goals against whoever they were playing in the Western Conference Final. I believe it was Vegas. 2 big goals to actually send it to Game 7, which was pretty exciting. I think another notable name would be, or maybe a more familiar one, being a former Detroit Red Wing, would be Alex Nedeljkovic, who played 2 years in Detroit. Now he's in Pittsburgh. So
Very cool. So I mean, I've been to a few Firebirds games. The hockey is fantastic. I mean, really good players. And question I have is, I know the players range from 16 to, is there a cap?
2021.
2021. Yeah. So how does that work with a kid being in high school still? Obviously, he's probably not playing for his high school team. How does that work with them traveling? I know it's somewhat regional, but still, it's probably a lot of travel. And how does that work?
It's a very demanding schedule, and a portion of the team is in high school every year. So all our players come in, they stay with host families, which are called billets in our community, and they go to, if they're in high school, they go to one of the local high schools. Some of the students or some of the players are still college students too that may take classes on the side. And we require pretty high academic standards.
That's good.
Dominic had mentioned one of our former captains, Ty Dellandrea. He was going to Grand Blanc High School, and while traveling for 34 road games, playing 34 home games, practices almost daily, he maintained a 4.0 GPA. So we have pretty high academic standards as well. So they're student athletes while they're here as well.
So why do they? I mean, ultimately, obviously, I realize it's developmental for the NHL, so it's a great way for them to get seen by people who could draft them. Why do they choose this as opposed to going to Division I college or D2 college on a scholarship, or is it a combination of that?
So yeah, I mean the players that come in, it really depends on the specific athlete, but there's so much tradition and history in this league.
Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky played in this league, right?
Incredible.
Some of the greatest players of all time that have come through this league, and it's really the development. It's geared like a mini NHL program, from the buildings that some of the teams play in, and the way that the training's handled, the coaching staffs are assembled. It's a different experience. And occasionally guys will go to college and then may still come to here after.
Well, again, not knowing a ton, I know that probably not every D1 college even has a hockey program, right? And so there's probably limited spots even on this college teams. But it sounds like, if you're looking to really go, I mean, there's a big, it's kind of an honor to play in this league, and something that guys look forward to, and that's kind of cool. So I'm a huge sports fan. Like, I love sports. When I was growing up, anything that had something keeping score where I could win, I wanted to do it. I didn't care what it was. If there was competition, I wanted to be a part of it. I have a little hockey experience. I had a couple friends that were really good hockey players. Their dad played through high school, and I think he played a little in college, and he used to freeze over a pond in McCurdy Park, and we'd go out and play. And so since my friends were playing, I'm like, I got to play some hockey. And, they were keeping score, so I wanted to do it. Plus, I'd watched the Mighty Ducks, so, you want to go out there and learn
Everybody's inspiration.
Yeah, absolutely. It was one of my favorite movies. So I'm like, I could do that. And I realized, skating is hard. For me, it was definitely, I got weak ankles from playing basketball. So, I would always end up, on the skates, my feet are, out like this. And so I invested in better skates, tied them up tighter, and I could never just get to the point where I could skate really gracefully. I could move fast. It's like that one kid on my Ducks who couldn't stop. I could skate really fast, but then I couldn't stop. And, of course, we're playing on a pond that's got basically, about a 2-foot berm of dirt around it. So if you don't stop, you're not hitting a wall. You're going out into the snow. So I always ended up, we'd go out, and I'd end up after about 30 minutes in my shoes playing goalie because I couldn't do it. So I'm I just had people hitting pucks at me all the time, so it wasn't the greatest experience. But loving sports the way that I do, I always thought, man, what a cool job to be able to work in sports professionally. And so, I mean, you guys get to do that. So tell us what it's like working for a professional sports franchise and what you guys enjoy about that.
I think one of my favorite things, I was born and raised in the Flint community. It's Dort Financial Center, formerly known as, let's say, IMA or
IMA
Bronny.
Sports Arena.
Yeah, I mean, there's a laundry
yeah.
list of names of what it's called.
I remember as the IMA.
Yeah, but it was one of the first places I ever tied my own skates. So it's very special to me. Growing up playing the sport of hockey as well, it holds a special place in my heart. And to have a platform in our community where we can invite a family-friendly environment, have everyone enjoy it, is truly special to me.
That's amazing, man. It's almost poetic. Almost poetic, really. That's
Don't
awesome.
cry, Tony.
I was already crying over. I looked off camera and wiped a tear away. I'm like, holy cow! Cue the music, everybody. Yeah, that's a pretty cool story.
It's great. I mean, you get to be in at this level. You get to see these players that come in at 16 years old, right? We draft players that are 15, 16 years old. So we have, just like the NHL, we have our own draft. We've got scouts that scour, Canada and the northern United States, and we're looking for who's going to be on our team, right? So it's very competitive. But you see these players come in at 16 years old, and you see them leave at 20 or 21 years old, and just a transformation, professionally, academically, as a person, as an athlete. And you never get bored. Like I was having a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday on my way home. I'm like, it's in this business, you don't sit there and watch the clock. Like it's not going, okay, when are we out of here for the day? Like, and a lot of times it's the opposite. Like you need to slow down, right? Like you need more time in a day, but it goes by so fast because, there is that enjoyment. No 2 days are the same. You get to deal, with great businesses like yourself. You get to deal with the public that comes out and, meet different people and their stories. And, I've been at the arena for a little over 19 years. So been there for 3 different hockey teams. But you see, from when I started, see these little kids coming with their families, and now they're bringing little kids sometimes. It really reinforces the importance of a facility like ours, a team like ours, at the local level, the connection that it has to the community and the importance. So it's rewarding in that way, but it's enjoyable. Like it's not, every job's got a grind to it, right? But the days just fly by because it's a great opportunity that we have to be able to work for a team.
Awesome, man. Well, he almost outdid you, Dom. I mean, you guys both got me going. We're going to have to, play some great music. I can hear the heart and the passion in what you guys do, talking about the families who, came when they were kids, now bringing their kids. That's just such a cool thing. And like I said, we enjoy going. We've taken our youth group from our church there. And, I coach varsity boys basketball, and I've never had a player that was good enough to go play even like D3 college. We've had a few guys that maybe if they had the best tryout of their life, they might, get a slot and sit the bench. But they've never had like that caliber. But a lot of these guys talk about, especially when you're that age and like basketball is life or baseball is life or, soccer, football, whatever. They want a job in sports. And a lot of times kids think the only job in sports is I got to be a player. And, so what kind of some of the opportunities just in an organization like yours for a young person watching that's like, I want to work in sports. I don't have the skill to maybe be on a team, but, I like to work around it and be a part of it. What are some of the things that kids should be looking to do, training they should get, experience they should get?
There's really a wide variety. It's interesting, we've had a few broadcasters in our time in Flint, and I always talk to them like, how'd you get into this? And a lot of times, they love the sport or they love sports in general, and they identified like, I'm not going to be a professional athlete, right? I'm not going to be a college athlete, but I want to be around the sport. And a lot of times, those broadcasters start honing their skills, like 8, 9, 10, 11 years old.
Yeah. And
they start calling games, as they're watching them. And it's really interesting. But, from broadcasting to, you guys are working with us on our pregame experience. And it's the same thing. We've got graphic designers that we work with. There's the sales component. There's the customer service component. everybody thinks when they want to work in sports, like they want to be the coach, right? They want to be the GM. They want to, the hockey operation or the sports operation. If it's different than hockey, and those jobs are obviously very, very competitive, and you have to have a ton of experience to get into that. But there's that too. We got a great support team that makes sure the players have everything they need from our equipment manager Cameron and his staff. These guys are up all hours of the night getting ready, making sure the team's ready to go. When we hit the road or we have a game at home, making sure everything's perfect for the players. So there's all kinds of jobs. That's just on the team side. Then you go on the building side of it, where there's maintenance jobs, more customer service jobs. There's lots of opportunity, but it's no matter what the job, it's still a different experience because you're creating an environment and an experience for families to come out, have a great time, right? That's the end goal, and it's rewarding for a lot of people.
And I think to add to Jeremy's comment, especially for a young person too, as myself came in straight out of college as well, just to really just be a sponge. I think that's the best thing to do is to be around, meet the right people, and build those connections is very important as we know that the sports world and as you alluded to, kind of working into sports it's a small network. So it's important to be that sponge, ask those questions, Absolutely. To be around, be an intern, wear a couple different hats and be that person to volunteer. Yeah. And then, when something does open up, it's
if you prove yourself,
it's so-and-so is the first person that comes to mind.
Yeah. Go pay your dues, go be the guy cleaning up the parking lot. It takes a lot to put on a show like you guys put on a great show. We're excited to be a part of creating some of the digital parts of making that show really fun for the fans. But man, it takes a lot of people, I'm sure, to put on a show like that. And if you're young watching and you're in the area, this is our community. So, go see what you could do. Like be the guy that's willing to do whatever, and work your way up, prove yourself. And I think there's such a value in that for young people. They especially now today, I think with social media, kids just see all these overnight successes at something, they go viral, and now they're making millions of dollars doing this. And so kids, they want to skip all the hard work. And, there is the possibility that you can go viral and become an overnight success, but it's so rare. It's like 1 in 100 million, And so there's a value to just saying, I want to do this. I want to work in sports or whatever. I'm going to go find a way to be around it, like you said, and just, intern or get a minimum wage job doing something so that I'm around it, prove myself, and, work your way up the chain.
Yeah, and a lot of times those overnight successes, there's a lot of times decades of hard work.
Sure, it seemed overnight to you, but
to the person doing it wasn't.
Exactly.
It certainly wasn't overnight. But there's, and we have, Dominic had kind of alluded to, even our internship program. So we have high schoolers that intern and work on the game day part of things, which is a lot of fun for them. They're involved in the in-game promotions and, interns in college and high school, and we've got volunteer programs with our usher program. There's all kinds of ways to get involved, and I would encourage anybody that's interested to explore it, because there's a lot of different paths, and it's a great business to work in.
Yeah, well, I think it's awesome. I think we're really, really looking forward to being a part of it and getting to know more about it. And just to be, like I said, as a huge sports fan, just to be working with a sports franchise is something we're super excited about. I wanted to mention, you mentioned the IMA, which is what I grew up in, which meant the Flint Generals. And, as a kid, going to Flint Generals games was a blast just because they were known for lots of fights. It was like you were guaranteed 4 to 5 fights a game. And at one point, Darren McCarty went and played for the Generals. Were like, there's going to be more fights. So, that was a memory that I had. But so for the person listening, what's, some of the differences between what it was the Flint Generals and now it's the Flint Firebirds playing there? What are some of the things that are maybe a little different?
So that's pretty easy for me to speak to, because I actually started out, I worked for the Generals as my first job at the arena. I was doing game day for the Generals. In my very first season, the 04-05 season, was the year of the NHL lockout. So in the first game I worked, was actually the first Generals game I'd ever been to. Like I didn't grow up playing hockey. Lived out in the country, and we weren't making the commute into the city to play. We had all the other sports to play, so it's a much different experience then. And since then, the building has completely transformed. But that first year we had the NHL lockout, so we're going. We averaged a couple thousand fans a game, and then some of the Red Wings and other pro players during the lockout, because we weren't an affiliated league, could come play in our league and not be crossing the strike line, right? So Chris Chelios and Darian Hatcher played for a team in Detroit, and first game they're playing us, and you go from a couple thousand fans a game to sold out standing room only. But they're fans of the Generals are so passionate, as are the Firebirds fans. And we actually saw from the Generals, there was a team called the Michigan Warriors. It was a lower level junior team. The focus there was kids wanting to go play college hockey in the U.S. And it never really caught on. It had a decent fan base, but nothing like the Generals, certainly nothing like the Firebirds. But it served as a kind of a bridge between the two, and it just was too big of a drop when the Generals left and the Warriors came in. People just they thought it was basically high school hockey, right? Yeah. And they're like, I can go support my local high school.
It's got to be quality hockey if people are going to pay to watch.
So when the Firebirds came in, it came back to that pro style, right? Yeah. It's junior hockey, but you see some of the best athletes in the world, right, in that age group.
Yeah.
And so those old Generals fans that were so passionate about hockey came over, and it was a new experience. So you got a lot of new fans in too that may have been NHL fans, right, that weren't necessarily Generals fans. So you created this kind of mix of different fandoms, and it's been great. I mean, the attendance coming out of COVID has been great. The support of the community has been great. So we're continue to grow, and it was a little different though.
Sure, I can imagine.
The fighting part of the game certainly has been moving out. The NHL's had a concentrated effort to kind of get, so there's limitations. They still happen. I mean, they're still a hit with fans.
Yeah.
But certainly not like the old Generals days when you'd have full line brawls every couple weeks. But
hockey player breaking a beer bottle over the ice and shanking a guy. Yeah, it doesn't do that anymore.
And I think to speak on Jeremy's behalf too, or the Firebirds' behalf, I think the Generals were kind of, not to speak about anyone's career, but they were older individuals, so they were kind of seeing their way out on their professional career, I would say. And I think we've done a fantastic job marketing that our players are on the way up, as we have possibly 6 NHL drafted players on our team this year. We had 4 drafted in that past NHL draft this past year. And, I mean, on any given night at a Flint Firebirds game here in Flint, Michigan, there may be 10 to 12 NHL draft picks on the ice that you'll see in the NHL eventually.
Well, I would say from my perspective, having gone to a couple games, I had no idea it was high school players. Like, the hockey is really good. And until Casey told me that that's what the OHL was, I was shocked. I'm like, oh, really? I mean, because it's really good hockey. And, I mean, like I said, I've been to Red Wings games. I actually went to a game up, watched Lake Superior. That was some really fun hockey to watch. And so I didn't notice any. I did notice, like, on this Jumbotron, like, some of these kids look really young, but I had no idea they were high school. So it is really, really good hockey. So I think that's important to know.
It's pretty funny when you introduce yourself to these kids as they're coming in and they're 16 years old and they're
Right.
6'3", and you're kind of looking up at them, but they're 170 pounds just soaking wet. It's like when I was 16, I would have given my left leg to be 6'3", 170 pounds. So to speak on the athlete's behalf, it's a fantastic product to watch, and bound to be NHL stars one of these days.
So you said the franchise started in 2015. What was kind of some of the Give us kind of a background of how the whole thing came to be. Like, who started the franchise and why did they determine Flint was the place?
So our owner, his name's Rolf Nilsson. He's a hockey fanatic, loves hockey. Wanted to own a hockey team, but he also wanted to own a building because his vision was he wanted to be able to control the entire experience. And it was important to him to be able to have both. You not just have a team and plop it in somebody else's building. So, since then he's invested a lot of money into upgrading the facility. Anybody that walks in today can see all the differences. Before he came to town, we didn't have the center hung jumbotron that's there now. We didn't have the media suite, the hockey operations complex. It used to be a combination of storage rooms and break rooms and offices, and that whole area we demoed and built 5,000 square foot hockey complex. None of that existed before. The old locker room actually became a state of the art weight room and training facility. Then during COVID, we did another major round of upgrades, adding all the LED ribbon, replacing all the seats to nice cushioned black vinyl seats.
All from the Palace, right?
Yep, a lot of that stuff. All that stuff actually came from the Palace. We actually acquired all of the LED ribbon they had. So
that's amazing.
We've got more LED ribbon than probably any building our size in the country. We got, I think, roughly a third of a mile of LED between. When you walk in and you're greeted with giant 6-foot screens in the lobby, and you walk in, there's 2 tiers of LED, and it's like I said, it's a much different experience now, even than when
we're excited to fill it up with
came.
graphics, by the way. Just so
It's gonna be awesome. We can't wait. We got to see a little bit of the work that you guys have been working on. It looks fantastic. Fans are gonna love it, I think.
Hope so. We're excited about that. And of course, I'm a huge Pistons fan, so just the nostalgia of I loved the Palace, and LCA does a good job. It's a nice arena. It's an incredible arena, but to me, it's a whole different experience than the Palace. I really miss the Palace. Of course, it helps when the Pistons have a good team as well. So maybe that's the biggest difference is we're not very good anymore.
It's coming.
We got a good core, man.
Yep.
We got a good core. Don't get me going on the Pistons. We'll talk about that the rest of the podcast. So let's talk about the fan experience. Okay, so what can the fans expect? I just finished the book literally last week. Fans First. Have you read this book? It's the guy who owns the Savannah Bananas. Are you familiar with the Savannah Bananas?
We are.
It's an incredible book. You have to get it. It's a must-read book, especially in your world. His whole philosophy is fans first. Like everything we do is not about the good of baseball or the good of the purity of the game. It's what can we do to make a great fan experience. Now, they're in a different league where they can break a lot of rules.
Yeah.
They invented this thing called banana ball, and they have innings where if a fan catches a home run ball, it's an out. Like you can't do that stuff, obviously, when you're in an organized league. But their philosophy of how to create an incredible experience for the fans, because he said basically at the end of the day, if the fans don't come, you don't have a franchise, right? And so they go through incredible lengths to really create a fan experience. So I highly recommend it. It's a great book. It's an easy read. So if you're readers, definitely get it. But what are some of the things that fans can expect when they come into the Dordt Financial Center, and maybe they've never been there, maybe they have? What are some of the things they're going to expect?
I think it's important that right when the fan walks in the doors, our doors open at 6:00. Right when they walk in, they're kind of wowed at the experience. As Jeremy mentioned, we upgraded the facility throughout our 8 years. 8 seasons. So when they walk in, they see the big center hung video board. They see the fresh sheet of ice. They can smell the hockey rink, which is one of my favorite parts.
Yes,
they see all the LED boards. It looks like a mini NHL rink when you watch that Detroit Red Wings game. You're like, wow, this place is in Flint, Michigan. But throughout the game, I think we've done a very good job the past couple seasons coming out of COVID, enhancing our game day experience. From any promotion that we do in-house to our intermission games, and it's 60 minutes 60 minutes is the game, but we have 2 hours to entertain the people. Right. So it's very important to us to have those fun experiences, whether if it's kind of like I mentioned, the intermission games or the kid getting on the video board dancing will make his night.
Yeah, he'll tell everybody about that for the rest of his
Yeah,
life.
right. I mean, you have no idea how many kids still floss these days.
Oh yeah, still a thing.
I always get a good laugh
Still a
out of
thing.
it.
The floss off.
Yeah, or even the Fortnite dances still. But we've done a really good job selling the experience. Even one of the things this past season, which we spoke about, we have a couple different promotions with restaurants. One being Little Caesars. If we score in the first minute, it's the hot and ready goal of the game. If we score 4 goals, Jersey Mike's gives you which will now be a $4 regular sub. The past 2 seasons, it was a free mini sub. And then there was one more, but I believe that with the price of the ticket, it's worth the price of admission, because you could go home and feed your family for fairly expensive or fairly inexpensive too.
I think you're talking about the Dort Financial night. You came in, you got a hat. From Dort Financial, nice hat too, and then we scored in the first minute. So they got a hot and ready pizza with the purchase of breadsticks. Then we scored 4 goals, so they got a sub from Jersey Mike's. The value, and I think there was one other prize that we had that night, but the starting ticket price for an adult is $15.
Yeah,
so they literally walked out having seen the game. With like
$30,
$30 to $40 in value, right? And that's the fan experience is critical to us. And we never, and everybody's like, well, what do you guys do in the off season? Like, season's over, like just vacation time, right? Well, we immediately, we probably don't, give staff enough time to kind of digest, but it really is important to us to create the absolute best fan experience we can. So we started almost immediately planning for the next year. And since we do have full control of the building, it's a lot easier for us to do things than it may be for some other teams. If we want to run a concession or a concession promotion, we just, we're one and the same. So how are we going to make it work, right? So we really spend a lot of time going, how's this season going to be better than last? How's this game going to be better than the last for the fans? And it isn't always just capital improvements, but there's been a ton of that, and that certainly has had a major impact. But even like our concessions offerings, I'm working with our concession management team all the time on bringing in new products, and they work really, really hard to try to come up with new products in a space that a lot of times is just rinse and repeat, right? Same products everywhere you go. We try to keep that mix up, make sure there's great quality food, because that's increasingly becoming more and more important to fans when they come out. They want good quality food. So we added a grill a few years ago so we could add a whole bunch of new food options. But Dominic had mentioned, when you first walk in the building, having that initial, wow, this is awesome feeling. People never forget that. I remember when I was 10, 11 years old, first time walking into Tiger Stadium.
I remember it too.
I walked out. We were in right field, and we walk out the tunnel, and just seeing this pristine grass,
humongous field, yeah.
Right? And I'll never forget it in my entire life.
Same.
And we want our fans to have the same thing. It's different. It's a hockey rink instead of a baseball field, but you can still try to accomplish that.
To a kid, it's monumental. It's huge, and when you walk in, you do get the sense that you're walking into a professional hockey arena and a sports arena. So I think you guys have done a great job with that. And going back to the giveaways, what I have noticed is it doesn't matter. People love free stuff. It doesn't matter if it's a $4 sub or a cheap T-shirt. You go to a Pistons game or a Tigers game or whatever. You see these guys throwing out T-shirts that are like $4 T-shirts that they'll probably never wear, but people are tackling each other to get to this free T-shirt, and then they just they tell everyone, I want a free sub. I got it hot and ready. It's an experience that really increases. So thinking about ways to really make that fun for the fans, I think is awesome. And I have a suggestion for the concessions. If you haven't already done this,
right?
I'm a huge wing fanatic, not Red Wings, but hot wings. Firebirds wings. Do you have the fire wings? Like,
We have chicken strips.
no.
And we
no,
have
no,
some
no,
different
no,
sauces.
Hold on. We're off track already. We're talking wings, man, with a bone in them. Like
Bone-in wings.
Bone-in fire wings, like themed. You need to come up, maybe have someone make your own unique fire sauce. And it may not be popular. I would jump in line to get that. I don't know if everyone loves wings as much as I do, but I'm a wing snob kind of.
I'm a chicken wing fanatic myself.
Yeah, I always say like boneless wings are not wings; they're chicken nuggets. So, so I like that you have chicken tenders. That's great, but I think maybe we should try to come up with. This is just I'm throwing this out here for free, but some fire wings. It could be cool. Who knows?
We'll jump on that when we
maybe
get back.
people don't want to have messy fingers in the stands eating. I don't know. It might not work at all. It might be the biggest flop you ever did, and then you can blame me. But I think it's some fire wings would be fire.
In the interim, we do have a sandwich we call the Firebird chicken sandwich.
I'm gonna be trying that.
You
for
try
sure.
that out. It's good.
I'll be trying
Real
that.
good,
Yeah,
especially if you like
You'll
spicy.
find me at the concession stand regularly. So I love the food experience of anywhere I go. I'm a foodie, so I just love trying the different things. And even like the uniqueness of the type of hot dog an arena serves or whatever. It's pretty cool.
Kogels, by the way. Only,
Has to be
only
Kogels.
Kogels.
Yes, gotta be Kogels. Serve the curve, right?
Yeah.
So, how if you guys noticed, has the presence of the Firebirds had an impact on like youth hockey in the area, or like the appeal of hockey, younger kids, or what are some of the things that the Firebirds is doing to really kind of promote younger kids getting involved in the sport in the community?
We think so, and it was really important to the owner too. And when he brought it, like I said, he loves hockey, very, very passionate about hockey, and wants us
That's
to
important.
help grow the sport. And we've got some great programs. We work with the Eastern Michigan Hockey Association. They're known as the Junior Firebirds. So that partnership's important to us because they have the ability to use our brand to hopefully help grow the sport, and they've done a really good job with it. We work with another program. Many people probably know Rico Phillips, a former firefighter. He runs a program called the Inner City Youth Hockey Program, and it's a free program that they come in, they skate 8 to 10 weeks out of the year at the arena, introduces kids to hockey, and we're very involved in supporting that program. Actually, he just opened up in Mott Park. They put in a new roller hockey court. So we were over for the ribbon cutting of that last week. So, all important things to continue to grow
back
the
to the
sport of
community.
hockey and make it accessible.
Get back to the sport, yeah. Very, very good. And I think it's important that the owner is a hockey fan. I was reading somewhere the amount of professional sports owners that could care less about the actual sport. They're just businessmen who realize it's a gold mine to own a professional sports franchise, especially at the full high level there. And so the article was about how many franchise their goal isn't even winning. It's just how can we make money? How can we sell tickets? How can we sell jerseys? And that as a fan, it's just disheartening. I remember, I'm such a fan that when my team loses, I feel like it ruined my day. Like I'm down. I don't want to talk to people. I remember back in the Pistons golden era when they were, from 2004 to 2008 or whatever, when they were good. I remember driving home from games where they lost, and I just didn't talk to anybody the whole game, like a regular season game, like against the Bucks or whatever. Doesn't matter. So as a fan, you're like, these guys love the game, and you want the players on the team to love the game. You want to know the coach loves the game, and you want to know the owner loves the game. So I think the fact that the owner is a hockey fan, that's gonna produce the best product on the ice, in the arena, at the experience. So I think that's incredible. I think it's important that people know that. So looking ahead, what are some of the big aspirations and goals that you guys have for the franchise and where you'd like to see it go? I mean, it's really 8 years old. You guys started in 2015. We also started in 2015. So what are some of the big goals you guys have for the franchise?
So on the ice, obviously we want to win a championship, right? We've had two seasons. We've had playoff runs. 2 seasons ago we were in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. Just came up very short of making the championship round. Off the ice, success is creating a sustainable team here, right? That our community can support. There's teams in this league that have been around 60, 70 years. We want that for the Firebirds. We want the Firebirds to be around, for
you guys
decades.
one of the newer teams?
We are one of the newer teams, and the team was purchased from the owner that owned the Plymouth Whalers.
Okay.
And it was moved to here, and we basically rebranded as an expansion franchise almost, but it was an existing franchise. But that's the long-term goal is to win championships, continue to raise money for our different charity and nonprofit partners in the community. We do a lot of that, supporting different charitable events. Some of the big charities in town we do jersey auctions for throughout the season, ticket fundraising, 50-50, fundraising opportunities. We have fundraising opportunities through our concessions for boosters programs. That's really a key to our model also, is we want to go beyond the sports and entertainment aspect that teams are for. We really feel it's our place to help support the community too, and we do that in a lot of ways. We want to be a strong community partner.
Well, I want to get that custom jersey that we were talking about too when those come out. So I think it's great. I love hearing what you guys are doing, and I'm glad that there's glad to hear as a fan that there's a vision behind it. There's some love for the game, and that the ultimate goal is let's win a championship. Right? It's beyond a business. Like let's play some real good hockey. So I think that's another thing the fans can look forward to, is they're going to see a competitive team on the ice. So this will air on September 25th, the Monday. So it's a week from Monday. So it's a big week for you guys. So what are some of the things that you want the fans to know that's going on with the Firebirds right now and what they should be doing to take part?
So the first thing is the home opener is Saturday, September 30th. So come out, you'll get a first chance to see the 23-24 team. We've got some great promotions this year. You had mentioned giveaways. I'll tease it a little bit. You're going to be hearing soon. By the time this airs, you may have already heard it. It's going to be released by then. But we've probably got our best giveaway, courtesy of Dort Financial Credit Union, that I think we've ever had. Fans are going to be ecstatic about it.
Awesome. Well, we'll be there, so I'm excited about that.
And we got, I'll let Dominic talk a little bit about, we got a new promotion this year that really is geared to be very fan interactive. We called it our Fans Choice Night. It's on November 17th.
November 18th.
November 18th. Keep saying November 18th. It's called Fans Choice Night. So we're in the preliminary phases of creating that promotion. So the first part was selecting what the theme's going to be. So we did a big survey. We got a whole bunch of entries on different promotions people wanted to do. The one that came out, we narrowed it down and took the top, I think 4 or 5, narrowed it down to those. And the winner that came out was, I believe, 80. Was it 80s? 90s night?
Yep.
90s night was the winner. And now we're going to continue to build that promotion through the fans, and I'll let Dominic talk a little more about that process and how we're trying to keep fans engaged and really having input on what that night's going to look like when people come out.
Awesome. Well, come out to opening night, watch some good hockey. We'll be there. You get to see us if that means anything to you. So yeah, come out, check it out. And we'll talk at the end before we go. We'll let you guys give everyone all the places they can get tickets, interact with the team, socials, all those things. But before we, really wrap this thing up, we have a segment in our show, and I appreciate you guys sharing with us with everything about what you guys do and about the franchise. I mean, listen, you, in my opinion, from my perspective, you guys are the right guys for the job. I can hear the passion. You talk about what you do, you love it, and I think that's only going to make for a better just experience all around for people involved and people coming. But we have this segment called 50 Questions, just rapid fire questions, where we just go rapid fire. There's 25 for Dom and 25 for Jeremy, all right? So don't overthink it, whatever pops in your head. And this is going to be a way for everyone to get to know you guys, all right? All right, so we're going to start with Dom. You guys ready for this?
Yep.
All right.
Boy.
This is a real tough one, Dom.
Hit me with your
We
best
already
shot.
talked about it. How did you start your day today?
I worked out with Casey Lambert today, Mr. Owasso.
Jeremy, if you could spend the day with anyone in the world, who would that be?
Oh, wow. Elon Musk.
And what would you do with Elon?
I would pick his brain as much time as he would give me.
It's funny. Elon's probably one of the number one answers we get to that question. Everybody wants to spend a day with Elon. So, all right, Dom, what is one thing you'd love to master?
Love to master. That's a hard question. Can you circle back to me on that one?
We'll try to come back to it. All right, Jeremy, who is your all-time favorite goon? on the hockey on the ice? Someone that just picked the fights.
It's got to be Darren McCarty. I've met him a couple times. Who thinks he's a fantastic
Oh yeah, I met him too. He's a
person.
great
Like he
guy.
will spend. I mean, we've had a couple events with him. I know this is rapid fire, but we're just he he does a comedy routine. We did a comedy show with him, and he stayed and shook hands and took pictures with every single person that came to that event. I mean, he was there probably an hour and a half after the show. We had him out last year for an alumni game. Same thing. Like people just gravitated to his table after the. He sat there. Our game was going on, and he was still meeting and greeting. So every last person got a chance to meet him, say hi, get a picture. I mean, fantastic.
He's a man of the people for sure.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we were involved. I don't know if you remember during COVID, there was an organization that started called Let Them Play. It was a group of parents that said, hey, now that we know what's happened, let our kids play these sports. Because of course, they canceled everything. So they wanted to provide opportunities for the kids to play safely. So they had a big rally at the Capitol, and there was thousands of kids there. And Darren McCarty showed up, and he was like getting the kids hyped up, throwing jersey. He took his shirt off.
It doesn't surprise me
Loved it,
one
man. So I
bit.
got to meet him after. Just a cool dude, just a great dude. Does one come to mind, the greatest hockey fight of all time?
Not offhand.
All right, back to Dom. Did you think of something you want to master?
Yeah, if I could master anything, being a foodie like Tony himself, I
we'll
think
have to
I
go
would,
on a little
I
journey.
would love to master culinary arts.
I would love to master without gaining weight. That would be
Yeah.
like, can I just
Yeah.
try all the foods without gaining weight? That would be amazing right there.
I think that's a wish or a dream.
That's a wish, yeah. So back to Dom. Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Flint, Michigan, raised in Flint and Grand Blanc.
How old were you when you started playing hockey?
I was 4 years old.
That's young.
Yeah.
That's young. Jeremy, in your opinion, greatest hockey player of all time?
Oh, wow. I mean, it's got to be Wayne Gretzky statistically.
Great
but in
one.
these
He's
parts-
called the great one, right?
These parts, I don't think Steve Yzerman's too far behind in
No,
most
I
of
agree.
our minds.
Yeah, I agree with that. So this one might get you into trouble. I don't know. Greatest Firebird of all time. To date. I mean, that's early,
I'm
but
going to have to go with, Ty Delandry because he was our first
proven
round
himself,
draft pick.
yeah.
He is, he's in the Western Conference Finals this year. But there's a lot of them that are going to have great careers.
Okay, Dom, same to you. Greatest hockey player of all time.
Oh, greatest. I mean, you have to go with Wayne Gretzky, right?
Yeah, it's tough not to, right?
Most
It's like,
decorated NHL player ever. So,
and then your greatest Firebird is the same as well, or
I believe so. I mean, Ty Delandria. I mean, he was probably my favorite personally to work with. He always had a smile on his face. He was easy to work with, extremely professional, and I mean, he has a couple records with us still. So I think his work here
he's
in
the
Flint
GOAT as of now.
speaks volumes.
He's the GOAT. Okay, so Jeremy, I know you're a big sports guy. If you could coach any sport other than hockey, what would you coach?
Basketball.
Me too. If you could resurrect one person from history and place them in today's world, who would it be?
It's me or Dominic?
It's you,
Me
again.
again. Resurrect one person from history. And what happens?
Place them in today's world. What would you? Who would it be?
Wow. This is rapid fire, but these are deep questions.
Deep. Well, we did send them to you before, so
I guess I should have looked at
so look at
that.
the email. How about Kobe? Basketball fan? No, maybe not Kobe. I don't want to take your answer, but
I'll pass.
come back.
Dominic, gets
Dom,
that
you have
question?
one?
Honestly, I don't have one that comes to mind.
That's all right. Okay, Dom. How many times a week do you field a question about the Generals?
In the summer, not so much, but I would say during our season from September to March, quite a bit.
Constantly.
Yeah, there's endless stories or questions about the Flint Generals.
So, as a hockey player that started at 4 years old, what's your best strength as a hockey player? Like, what were you really good at besides the triple deke from Coach Bombay?
I think when I was younger, my skating.
You're a strong skater.
Yeah, I think as I've gotten older, my hips have gotten tighter. So
Maybe you can give me some lessons on how
not
to
very
stop.
mobile anymore.
Jeremy, who was your favorite NHL player growing up?
Steve Yzerman.
What's the most important quality that a successful person should have?
I really think it's work ethic, being hardworking. You can can overcome any shortcomings you may have, I think, with hard work.
Agreed. Dom, what is a daily habit that everyone should do?
Take time to themselves to
yourself.
just talk to yourself or reflect on your day a little bit.
Just don't let people see you talking to yourself.
Yeah, right. Well, they might see me on my car ride home. I typically try. It's only 10 minutes, but I don't try to listen to any music or call anyone. So it's my own little safe or quiet place.
So this is a Casey question. I'm not sure what it means, but
Oh boy.
it's for you. Who has the best? Is it Selly? Who has the best Selly on the Firebirds? What's a Selly before we start?
Celebration.
It's a goal celebration.
So it's a celebration.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was a cell phone. Like
Yeah.
well, this guy's got an iPhone 15, so it's the best.
The best celebration. Can I answer with two people?
They were saying it yesterday. Now the lady was like, "Okay, it's time to do your Selly video." So I get it now. Celebration. Now I'll know forever.
I would say it's probably Gavin Hayes.
Yeah.
I mean,
He just had he played for Team USA, right?
No,
got a
he
tryout
was
with them.
at the World Junior Showcase, I
Okay.
believe. I mean, he scored 40 goals last year, so we got to see him celebrate quite a bit.
All right, and then Dom, another Casey question: what is your go-to karaoke song?
Oh boy, karaoke. Most recently, I performed "Girls" by the Beastie Boys. That was a pretty interesting one.
Solid. That's
I
a
think,
solid choice.
or the cliche one, "Mr. Brightside." So
That's always good. It's got a good range. You don't have to be able to sing.
yeah.
Okay, Jeremy. Other than the Firebirds, of course, who has the coolest jerseys in the OHL?
OHL.
Oh, you're really putting them on the spot here.
Man, I don't know that anybody's even close to.
No,
so-
it's just the Firebirds. Okay, well then on that, what has been your favorite promo themed jersey that you guys have done for the Firebirds?
There's a lot of them. I really like the Tropics jersey. One of our last Tropics jerseys was really close to as close as we could possibly get with a
I
hockey
would love
jersey.
to see that.
I got one of my office. I'll show you.
I want to see it. Number 33.
But with that, I got to say, I think my favorite is coming this year for military appreciation. We'll be unveiling that soon. We're working with Folds of Honor to raise money for their program, and it is awesome, I think.
Looking forward to seeing that.
Saturday, November 4th.
Right. Right before Veterans Day. Dom, I think I know the answer to this, but what is your favorite sport?
Ice hockey.
Ice hockey. Favorite way to spend a Sunday?
Probably wake up, have a cup of coffee outside on the deck with my now wife.
Congrats, by the way.
Thank you.
Very
Take
fresh.
the dogs for a walk, go grocery shopping, do my meal prep for the week.
Still
It's
Sunday.
a pretty chill day, and now it's fall, so I mean, there's football on all day. What else can a man ask for?
All right. Well, describe yourself as a kid.
A bouncy ball. I think that would be the best way
Bouncy
to.
ball.
And,
I have one
I'm
of
still
those.
like it at
I have
the
one
age
of
of
those.
at the age of 31. I mean, I just can never sit still. I'm always having to be on the move or in something, to say the
Get
least.
it, man. Jeremy, what are you most excited about this upcoming season?
I'm excited to get the season going and see the fans again. I mean, it's the opening night. You know, when people come back, you haven't seen sometimes in 4 or 5 months. There's just this energy and excitement. There's so even when I see people in the summer, they're like, it's only 2 more months. Like you can see them a month after, and they're like, gosh, I wish it was time for hockey season already. So that first night when people come back to see the team for the first time, there's just a ton of energy, ton of excitement for the season.
Awesome. What advice would you give to your 16-year-old self?
Try harder in school, like high school, like work harder, pay attention, respect your
Study
teacher,
once in a
respect
while.
your teachers. Yeah, just take a book home. Stay out of trouble.
Get it, man. Sounds like we're very similar. When is the first time you truly felt successful?
I'll let you know when that happens.
Awesome. Good answer. Dom, what is a must-read book?
The Power of Habit was the most recent book that I've read.
Check that one out.
I really like that one.
What is your favorite podcast?
Probably Pardon My Take from Barstool Sports.
That's a good one. Yeah. Jeremy, if you were stranded on an island with only one album for the rest of your life,
Jeez. One.
What would it be? Now, obviously, we're assuming that there's power to listen to this album and you have a record player, so it's a weird question, but what's it going to be?
Can it be a compilation album?
I mean,
Or does
if
it have to be an original?
It could be a compilation album.
If I had to pick two, if I could do a compilation
Just
album,
one. No, just one.
I'd say probably the Metallica Black Album.
Solid. What about a must binge TV series?
Oh man, House of Cards was really good.
Great one.
The Ranch was really good. Oh, with Ashton Kutcher and
Where's that found?
that's on Netflix.
It's The Ranch. I'll have to
Ranch,
check it
yeah.
out. Dom, what's a movie you could watch over and over again?
Over and over again. Happy Gilmore, probably. I mean, it's
Solid.
yeah.
I love Happy Gilmore. All right, so for both of you, we can go whoever wants to go first. If Hollywood made a movie about you, who would you like to see cast as you?
You can go first.
I don't think I've ever thought of this question.
Except for when you read the email.
Yeah.
I gotta check and see if I got this email.
Yes.
If I was gonna have someone cast me, who would it be?
Doesn't have to look like you.
I guess I never really truly thought about it.
All right.
Do you
got
have an
one?
answer, Jeremy?
I got to do it with my current hair situation. I'd probably have to pick Jason Statham.
I can see it. I can totally see it.
I think I would choose
Jeremy with the British accent.
Jason Sudeikis.
Oh, there you go.
I love his sense of humor.
Yes,
I
that's a good
think
one.
he's hysterical.
That's a good one.
So
That's a good one. All right, Dom, Ovechkin or Crosby? Who will go down as the better player?
Crosby, 100%.
Jeremy, MSU or U of M?
U of M.
Great answer.
Blue. Go blue. Jeremy, what's your favorite quote?
Favorite quote? I don't think I have a favorite quote.
You have one that you like? You can come back to that one. Dom. Oh, you got one.
You're not first, you're last. Ricky
Yes,
Bobby.
Ricky Bobby. Dom, what's the favorite place you've ever been?
Favorite place I've ever been? Sydney, Australia.
I always want to go to Australia. As an aspiring foodie, if you had one last meal, what would it be?
Chicken wings.
Yeah.
Come on now.
We need to go do some wings. We need to go do some wings together for sure. Jeremy, what is success to you?
These are deep. These are not all rapid fire questions. Like I was locked and loaded for the movie one. I
What's
would
the movie?
say Tombstone.
Tombstone.
Watched over and
That's a
over.
good one, yeah.
Tombstone. I think it's it's a feeling of self-satisfaction, like, you know, feeling that what you're doing is rewarding. Yep. I think that's probably
And I think it's
most important
important.
thing.
You know, I think success is different for everybody. And I think that sometimes success gets defined, and so everyone's kind of pursuing this definition of success, but really it should be individual. I think it's important. I always encourage my kids and people that I work with, like, determine what success looks like for you. It might not have anything to do with money. It might have something to do with time or self-fulfillment, whatever. But if you don't know what you're chasing, you're never gonna know if you found it. So determining what to me, this is what success looks like is a big help. Jeremy, you've been the GM of the Dordt Financial Center since 2004. They do everything from Comic-Con to concerts to the Firebirds. What's your most epic memory at the arena? Or, you know, I know it's changed names, but epic memory.
So I started operating the building in 2008. But I started in 2004. Best memory.
You've been with them since 2004.
2000, yeah.
Got to do better research.
Well, technically,
Well, LinkedIn, I think, said
technically I didn't
GM
work-
2004 to present, so that's...
Technically, 2004, I was just with the team. 2005, I was joint
Gotcha.
with both. But best memory. Wow.
Epic thing that you're like, that was awesome. You left the arena that day going like, that was pretty sweet.
The probably because it was early. The the lockout season when Chelios and Hatcher came in was pretty memorable. Like those crowds were huge. But also, just 2 seasons ago, our Western Conference Finals home game was. I mean, it was. I don't think I've felt the place more electric than then. Like from a hockey standpoint, that was a pretty awesome night. Outside of hockey, I would say we had corn play for Banana's 20th anniversary. And I was growing up, I always wanted to see corn. I never got to see him, and then I got to see him in a building I was working in, which was pretty cool.
Pretty sweet. Dom, what is a totally irrational fear that you have?
Drowning.
Drowning? I thought you said drumming at first, and then I thought that's probably not it. All right,
could
so
be
Dom, the Firebirds make the playoffs again this year. What promo item are we offering fans at the first playoff game? Any ideas?
Yeah, I would love to do.
It doesn't have to be a promise, but
like a white T-shirt to accomplish our whiteout.
That's a cool idea. I know someone that can make some T-shirts. Jeremy, this is for Jeremy. Well, you already answered this. We don't have to answer. It was what promotional night are you most excited about this season? But you already told us that the military is that. Well, it's different than the promotional jersey, so maybe it's different. What a promotional night are you most excited about this season?
There's a lot.
There's a lot of them to be excited about.
There really is. The home opener is always a great one. We've got Dort Family Night, the second game of the season, which is that giveaway I was talking about. So that I'm really excited to see that. But I am really excited about this military appreciation night. We put a lot of time into paying respects to our military active duty and veterans. We're excited to work with Folds of Honor in their program. Those are probably the top 3 right now, and I'm curious to see how Fans' Choice works out too, because we're given the opportunity for the first time.
90s night that they chose.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun.
Do you want to get slimed?
Of course.
All right, we can work on that.
All right, of course. I'm a ham. This is another deep question for Jeremy. If you could broadcast a message to the entire world right now, everyone's watching, what would it be?
Be kind.
Love that, man. Great. That's a great answer. Dom, what is your proudest achievement?
Most recently, I think getting married.
Nice work.
Yeah.
Jeremy, what is something important you've learned in life that would help other people succeed?
Be patient. Still working on that. It's taking a long time, but be patient.
My kids just told me,
But not complacent. There's a big difference.
Yeah. No, my kid just told me a couple months ago that I need to work on my patience. And it's always different when you hear it from your kids. Like, you might have already known that about yourself. So I've really been working on it. It's a challenging one, though.
It is.
Dom, in your opinion, what sets successful people apart from unsuccessful people?
I think patience. It's not chasing that something fast, right? It's always the long game of success.
Good things take time.
Yep.
All right, we've made it to question number 50. Can you believe it?
Wow,
That was quick,
really?
right? Yeah. People think it's going to be long. It's pretty quick. But this one's for both of you. How far are the Firebirds going this season? Predictions. Preseason predictions. We can cut this, and then at the end, we can play a video, see who got it right.
You want to go first?
Sure. I mean, I think my expectation of this season is to make it back to the Western Conference Finals and make it to the OHL Finals.
Boom.
Yeah, we've got a great team coming back. A lot of talent. We were a playoff team last year. I think we're in the playoffs again. I think we'll be competitive. I think we're competing, and there'd be no greater day than to be able to face Saginaw in the Memorial Cup, because they're hosting, so they're automatically in. But we saw last year in the first round we played Saginaw, and the atmosphere in the community was just fantastic.
Like a rivalry game almost.
It is,
yeah.
and to be able to play them in the Memorial Cup would be unreal.
Dude, that'd be awesome. That's what we're hoping for. Well, thank you guys. We did it. Studio audience, round of applause. Studio audience, round of applause. Good job, guys. You did it. We learned everything about you. There's no more mystery anymore. So we appreciate you guys coming on, taking of your time. I know you're busy. Hockey opening night coming up, and thank you again. We're excited to be working with you guys, and look forward to getting to know you guys and helping grow the brand of the Flint Firebirds. That's what we do. That's what we're good at, and we're excited to be even a small part of that. And looking forward to going to some hockey games this year as well. I know my staff and a bunch of family members are already like, can I get tickets? Can I get tickets? So that'll be cool. We're looking forward to that. And we're looking forward to seeing, some AZ representation there too. It's kind of a big moment for us as a company, and we appreciate you guys giving us the opportunity to do that. We're going to wow you, I promise. So before we go, whoever wants, or if you both want to look into that camera and plug whatever you want to plug, let the fans know all the things. And
Just on video.
This is on video.
September 30th, home opener. Kitchener Rangers, 7 p.m. First 2,000 fans will receive a rally towel courtesy of Dort Financial. You can buy tickets at the Dort Financial Center box office, etix.com, and make sure to follow us on all of our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. There's a lot of fun stuff that we'll have coming out here soon. Tickets start as low as $15. There's 34 games for you to choose from, a fun-filled promotional schedule as well. So we're looking forward to having you this year.
I just got to say, Jeremy, good job picking a marketing director, because that was a fantastic plug.
good.
That was one of the best plugs I've seen. That was great. Want to add to it?
Yeah, 30th. We want to see you there. If you can't, we got 34 home games. That go all the way till the end of March. You can see all our full schedule at flintfirebirds.com. Lots of great promotions. Going to be a fantastic season. Lots of great hockey. I'm seeing some of the best young talent in the world.
Awesome. Well, I got to say, top 5 plugs of all time on the No Easy Way Out podcast. So we appreciate you guys coming. And again, thank you guys for joining us. We're excited to see what the season holds, and we look forward to all the things, man. So appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you having us. We really look forward to working with you. Excited for fans to get to see what you're producing for them for opening night.
Part of the team, baby.
Absolutely.
We're part of a professional sports team.
We're happy to have you.
My dreams are coming true, right? All right. Well, listen, thank you all for watching. We appreciate you going on this journey with us. We'll make sure we put all the links to all the things they mentioned in the podcast as well as in the description. So check them out. Go to some Firebirds games this season. As my mother always said, you can't and never could until you tried. So go out there and try something great, my friends, and don't take the easy way out. We'll see you next time.